So welcome to my review of the AEG Oco Lavamat 645 Sensortronic. It dates from around 1993, so don't expect in the way of modern programmings, and of course it's got a very small porthole. In fact, it's only about 20 centimeters. Anyway, at the bottom we've got a filter, and this thing here, if you take it off, it drains the water. That sits back in there. There's no cover, and we've got a 5 kilogram drum, which is deceptively big actually. Right, the one thing I just don't like about this AEG, and when Electrolux took over AEG, they kept the design on their own machines, is this sort of ribbed effect door seal, because if you notice, this is great, this bit, but if you notice there's a lot of rust, and that's because, in fact, there's still a tiny bit there, I think. Tiny bit. Tiny bits of screws ended up inside there. Not particularly fond of that. Right, the door seal has a very close gap, very tiny gap, which is great, so nothing can actually end up going down unless you have a colour catcher, and that ended up in the filter and stopped it from draining, so that wasn't entirely great. Right. Let's take a look at the top here then. So what have we got? Well, we have a variable temperature dial up to from 0 to 95 degrees. And something very interesting is that there's a bit of there's a click from 95 there, and then when you turn to 40 it goes tight around there. And it actually clicks just past 40 as well. And the reason for that is to do with the hot and cold fill. It's a hot and cold fill machine, so that decides. So we've got cold all the way up to around there, hot and cold, and then as soon as it goes past there, sort of 80 and 95, it's just pure hot taken in. Right, we've also got this little label here which says E. That is to be in conjunction with this E here, but I'll tell you more about that in a second. And then we have a program dial with just 6 programs. It says up to 5 there, but there is actually a pre-wash section there. So we've got pre-wash, 1 which is main wash, then this icon here, start of the rinse. The little black bits means for spin. Then we have 1, 2, 3 and 2, which is fabric softener, and then there's a little gap there. If you notice, it doesn't continue. That's a rinse hold where applicable. And then 3 is spin only, or final spin anyway. It will stop there. 4 is soaking or extra pre-wash. It's extra pre-wash at 40 degrees, and then when it goes there, it will go into soak, and then it will continue to do some tumbles for just endlessly, basically, until you go to drain it on program 5. So anyway, and if we look across here, if you notice, there's no such thing as like cottons, synthetics, or anything like that, right? That's because they're all controlled by push buttons here. So well, none of these 3 buttons here are selected. It's cottons. If we select this button, it's easy cares and synthetics. If we select this button, it's delicates. If we select this button, it's wool. Cottons does low water level wash, medium sort of rinses. Easy Care does a low/medium, a low water wash, high rinses. Delicates does high wash, high rinses, and wool does high, medium/high water level wash, high rinses but very gentle agitation. Right, this button here, E, which when in conjunction of, there we go, E in conjunction with this E here, used on program 1 with cottons is the energy standard. Although there was no such thing as energy standards back when this was first produced. It's the most economical program. So E when selected as well, even if you select it at any other temperature, what it does is extends the program. So basically it's a superwash program. For heavily soiled, we have a half load button, which can be used on cottons, easy cares and delicates, which reduces the water load, and it's a different between cottons, easy cares and delicates, depending on what it is. This is a short button. If you press that with either cottons, easy cares, it does the whole cycle, depending what temperature you selected, usually within less than an hour. I think 60 degrees took about 50 minutes, 40 degrees is about 45 minutes. This V and a little whirligig is variomatic spinning. So what it does, it's available on cottons, and what you'll do, instead of doing a 10-minute spin, it does a 20-minute spin up to its max spin of 1200 RPM, and it does intervals. So it will do a short spin, then does an anti-crease to make them all come down again, then it'll do another spin, and it's there to reduce creasing actually. If you're selecting easy care or delicates or wool, it will stop. If I show you there. However, if you select variomatic spinning, when you've done with the rinse hold and you press variomatic spinning, it will advance to spin by itself. If you don't want to do rinse hold at all, you can just press variomatic spinning and it will cancel the rinse hold automatically. Right, we also have these little spin buttons up here, so we've got 700 RPM, 1000 RPM or 1200 RPM. So another thing, we've got electric door. There we go. Open sesame. It won't open depending on the temperature, how high the water level is, etc. We've also got, if you select these buttons, to cancel the buttons, you have to press the door to cancel everything. So every time you do a wash cycle, all your options are automatically reset, so you don't end up doing further things. Right, I'm just going to show you something else, and it's under here. There's a little switch under here, right? You've got 0 and 1. Right. If you select 1, on the cotton cycle, it will do a 4th rinse. It will only do 3 rinses as standard. Anyway, let's do a load, and I'll show you the detergent drawer. So, what we're going to do is we're going to press the 0 button / lock, open it up. We're going to do a load of darks. These are all obviously, I'm sure they are. Fabric softener. So I'm just going to quickly explain about the drawer. So this compartment is your pre-wash, this one is your main wash, and this is your fabric softener. You have massive capacities. That is 80 millilitres of powder, and you can see there that there is room for probably around 500. But why would you need 500? And we've got a little program table here as well, telling you everything. So final spin. complete. They smell nice. Right, so just a quick note on the aromatic spinning. Even with aromatic spinning, you get really good results. Overall, the final spin is brilliant, despite it being old and a 1200 spin. So overall, the AEG offers results outstanding. Considering how old it is, this is brilliant and it's very economical for its age. It didn't even take that long either. Overall, this is brilliant. If it was on a scale of 1 to 10, it would be like 9.5. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you found this video. Thank you for watching my video, and I'll see you again soon.